فرمان اجرایی رئیس جمهور آمریکا درباره تعلیق ورود مقامات رژیم آخوندی و بستگان درجه اول آنها به ایالات متحده همزمان با اجلاس مجمع عمومی ملل متحد. رژیم ایران یک حکومت حامی تروریسم است و سپاه پاسداران و نیروی قدس آن به طور مستقیم درگیر تروریسم هستند. این رژیم فاسد به بحران‌های انسانی دامن می‌زند، اتباع آمریکا را خودسرانه بازداشت می‌کند، همسایگان و کشتیرانی بین‌المللی را تهدید می‌کند.
Well, thank you all for being here. We've had a tremendous 3 days in New York at the United Nations.
دونالد ترامپ در یک کنفرانس مطبوعاتی در مقر هیئت آمریکا در ملل متحد در نیویورک که همزمان با اجلاس مجمع عمومی برگزار گردید اعلام کرد برای مقابله با فساد دیکتاتوری حاکم بر ایران من دستوری صادر کردم تا ورود مقامات ارشد رژیم و بستگان درجه اول آنها به ایالات متحده به حالت تعلیق درآید. در فرمان اجرایی رئیس جمهور آمریکا که به تاریخ 25 سپتامبر 2019 از سوی کاخ سفید منتشر شد آمده است: رژیم ایران یک حکومت حامی تروریسم است و سپاه پاسداران و نیروی قدس آن حامی تروریسم و به طور مستقیم درگیر تروریسم هستند. رژیم ایران شهروندان آمریکا را به صورت خودسرانه‌ای بازداشت می‌کند، به بحران‌های انسانی دامن می‌زند، همسایگانش را تهدید می‌کند، کشتیرانی بین‌المللی را تهدید می‌کند و حملات سایبری مخرب انجام می‌دهد. با توجه به اینکه چنین رفتاری صلح و ثبات در خاورمیانه و فراتر از آن را تهدید می‌کند، به عنوان رئیس جمهور آمریکا بر طبق اختیاراتی که قانون اساسی به من داده است مقرر کردم که ورود مقامات ارشد حکومت ایران و بستگان درجه یک آنها به آمریکا محدود شود و به حالت تعلیق درآید. از آنجا که مجوز ورود بدون محدودیت مهاجرتی یا غیر مهاجرتی مقام‌های رژیم ایران و اعضای درجه یک خانواده‌های آنها برای ایالات متحده زیانبار است، فرمان تعلیق یا محدودیت مجوز ورود این افراد را صادر می‌کنم. مقام‌های ارشد حکومت ایران، بستگان درجه یک آنها و اعضای هیئت‌های نمایندگی این رژیم مشمول این فرمان هستند. وزیر خارجه آمریکا مسئول شناسایی این افراد است و می‌تواند طبق این فرمان با مشورت وزارت امنیت داخلی اقدام کند.
بیانیه 38مین سالگرد تأسیس شورای ملی مقاومت ایران. فصل 8. لیست‌گذاری تروریستی سپاه پاسداران، تحریم کامل نفتی، تحریم ولی فقیه و وزیر خارجه آخوندها، فراخوان‌های مقاومت ایران به طرد و تحریم فاشیسم مذهبی.
74 نمایندگی شورای ملی مقاومت در آمریکا در اردیبهشت ماه 1398 کتابی تحت عنوان فرستادگان ترور چگونه سفارت‌های ملایان شبکه قتل و جاسوسی را هدایت می‌کنند منتشر کرد. این کتاب ضمن برشمردن 10 توطئه تروریستی رژیم آخوندی در اروپا و آمریکا در سال 2018 به نقش کلیدی سفارت‌های رژیم به ویژه در آلبانی، اتریش، فرانسه، آلمان، ایتالیا، سوئد، سوئیس و ترکیه در این اقدامات تروریستی می‌پردازد. این کتاب همچنین به نحوه و ساختار تصمیم‌گیری درباره اقدامات تروریستی و به خصوص نقش دفتر ویژه خامنه‌ای و دیگر ارگان‌های رژیم مانند شورای عالی امنیت، وزارت اطلاعات، نیروی قدس و اطلاعات سپاه پرداخته و وزارت خارجه رژیم را به مثابه یک عنصر کلیدی ماشین ترور ملایان توصیف کرده و پرونده تروریستی ولایتی، متکی و ظریف وزرای خارجه کنونی و پیشین رژیم را مورد بررسی قرار داده است. کتاب در نتیجه گیری‌هایش تصریح کرده است خامنه‌ای و دفتر او، مخصوصاً دفتر امور ویژه‌اش، باید در لیست تروریستی قرار گرفته و تحریم شوند. وزارت اطلاعات و سپاه پاسداران باید در لیست تروریستی اتحادیه اروپا قرار گیرند. وزارت اطلاعات باید در لیست سازمان‌های تروریستی خارجی آمریکا قرار گیرد. بخش گاز و پتروشیمی رژیم باید تحت تحریم قرار گیرد. دیپلمات تروریستای رژیم باید به عدالت سپرده شوند. سفارت‌های رژیم باید بسته شوند. آنها سلسله اعصاب جاسوسی و ترور رژیم هستند. ماموران و جاسوسان وزارت اطلاعات و سپاه پاسداران در اروپا و آمریکا باید محاکمه یا اخراج شوند.
مراکز تروریسم تغییر باید گردد. مراکز تروریسم تغییر باید گردد.
نیویورک، اجلاس اتحاد علیه ایران اتمی به ریاست سناتور لیبرمن همزمان با اجلاس مجمع عمومی در ملل متحد. چهارشنبه سوم مهر 98 25 سپتامبر 2019. سناتور لیبرمن در دومین اجلاس اتحاد علیه ایران اتمی که ریاست آن را بر عهده دارد، اعلام لیست‌گذاری این سازمان توسط حکومت آخوندی را حرکتی مضحک خواند و تاکید کرد ما افتخار می‌کنیم که در حال مبارزه با این رژیم افراطی هستیم. سناتور لیبرمن خطاب به مایک پومپئو وزیر خارجه آمریکا گفت ظریف روز یکشنبه شما را تروریست اقتصادی خواند و روز سه‌شنبه اعلام کرد ریل نامگذاری اتحاد علیه ایران اتمی را به عنوان یک سازمان تروریستی شروع کرده است. اما باید بگویم که ما افتخار می‌کنیم که در حال مبارزه با یک رژیم افراطی و خشونتگرا هستیم. سناتور لیبرمن افزود واقعیت این است که این اقدامات مضحک توسط مقامات بالای جمهوری اسلامی از نظر من کارهای یک حکومت درمانده و در حال شکست است. سناتور لیبرمن خاطر نشان کرد که رئیس جمهور ترامپ و دولت او با خارج شدن از برجام و اتخاذ سیاست جدید فشار حداکثری ناکامی را به موفقیت تبدیل کردند و خوشبختانه متحدان اروپایی ما 2 روز پیش به سمت ما بازگشتند و امیدواریم که حالا با هم به پیش برویم.
This week, however, we at UANI feel a special kinship with Secretary Pompeo. On Sunday, Foreign Minister Zarif of Iran called Secretary Pompeo an economic terrorist and said, right, see, this is the old Roosevelt line, they love you for the enemies you made, and suggested that Secretary be put on trial at the International Criminal Court in Geneva. Yesterday, Mr. Secretary, the Iran Foreign Ministry began proceedings to designate UANI as a terrorist organization. So to be designated as terrorists by the world's biggest terrorist state and the largest state sponsor of terrorism is truly the world turned upside down. But I will say to you that it makes us proud to stand with you, not in the dock in Geneva, where we will not be, but to continue the fight against this radical extremist violent country. The truth is that these ridiculous actions by high officials in the Islamic Republic of Iran are, in my opinion, the actions of a desperate, failing nation.
اجلاس آینده ایران در نیویورک همزمان با مجمع عمومی ملل متحد، سه‌شنبه دوم مهر 98 24 سپتامبر 2019.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the International Convention for Iran's Future. Please let me give a particularly warm welcome to all the delegates and the many who have traveled from all around the world to the United States to this convention. Welcome to the United States of America. I'm delighted to be your host. Historically, this convention will demonstrate those unifying chords and speak for the Iranian people who cannot speak for themselves under repression of the Iranian regime. Sadly, the Iranian regime continues to detain, torture, and kill many of its opponents. Today, your colleagues are held in brutal detention, and we all have learned that the regime is planning executions to coincide with this gathering. Together, we honor all those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice for freedom in Iran, and those that suffer at the regime's hands today. Please join me in a moment of silence and prayer for all those lost and that remain in detention today. Now, I'd like to introduce the man that will open our convention. For decades, America's mayor has been a voice for the voiceless, both within Iran and throughout the diaspora. He will not be silent, and we will not be silent. Our keynote speaker is a close confidant and counsel to the President of the United States, a former Republican presidential candidate, legendary former mayor of New York City, and the former U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Rudy Giuliani.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to thank Senator Lieberman, who is chairman of the group that Mark runs. Senator Lieberman is a great American patriot, man of distinguished service, who was one of the people that very early on warned us that this regime in Iran was unlike anything else in the world in terms of the oppression, the tyranny, the support for terrorism. And I want to thank all of you for being part of this international convention for the future of Iran, because Iran's population of more than 80 million people has been held hostage for now 40 years. That's a very long time. And they're being held hostage by a regime, and there's not enough terrible things you can say about it. It's a tyranny, it's a theocracy, it's a terrorist regime. They kill their own people, and they spend money on killing other people. And we've tolerated them for too long. They're an affront to human decency, and they're a disgrace for any country that does business with them. Iran is an occupied country. It's also the biggest state sponsor of terrorism in the world. And I want you to focus on what it means to be a state sponsor of terrorism. And I say this directly to the European countries that do business with Iran. To be a state sponsor of terrorism means you give money to terrorists. The terrorists use that money to kill innocent people. The terrorists have used that money, just in case we want to make it personal, to kill Americans, as well as the very Europeans that the European governments are supporting. Well, somebody's got to eventually point out, and I say this and I'm more than willing to back it up. If you give $1 to Iran, you're giving 50 cents to murdering an innocent human being. At least, how can your conscience deal with that if you're the head of France or Germany or a civilized country? And it's about time that they stop. So I call them the regime of terror. They have been from the first Ayatollah to the second, to all of the murdering mullahs and all these other, what we call in America, charlatans. Another word for charlatan would be phony, con man. They pose as religious leaders, and they're really local gangsters. They remind me of the mafia that I dealt with in America, except they're more violent, and they're more brutal. And they're getting more support from the civilized world, which is a tragedy. But we're here today, and we're going to support a regime of freedom for Iran. That's why we're here. This will be a regime that's democratic, republic form of government. It will have very, very strong guarantees, like our Bill of Rights, for freedom of religion, separation of church and state, equal treatment for everyone, for minorities, ethnic minorities, other minorities, and I must say, most importantly, equal, fair, and decent treatment for women. We agree that Iran should not possess nuclear weapons. There's no need for that. And we agree that Iran should abolish the death penalty. It also has to be clear, because we don't want these murdering mullahs and the Ayatollah to divide and conquer. We stand for one Iran, territorial integrity, we can all get along, but we can't get along with them because they want to kill us. Ayatollah Khamenei and his criminal syndicate are thieves. They pose as religious leaders. They're stealing money from the Iranian people. As we gather here today, Hassan Rouhani and the foreign minister Javad Zarif are walking around the United Nations, and people are shaking hands with them. And Rouhani is a moderate. Ha! A moderate. The moderates kill more people than Ahmadinejad. He's got more blood on his hands than just about anybody in Iran. And I warn anyone shaking his hands that you're going to get blood on your hands if you shake his hand, because the man is a murderer. Do not be fooled like a lot of the Western media. This man is I said one more time, a murderer, mass murderer. And like the Ayatollah and like Zarif, he shouldn't just be thrown out of the country. He should be prosecuted for crimes against humanity, and quickly. So they're here to kind of pose as moderates. They want to negotiate. At the same time, just a couple of days ago, a week ago, they attacked not just Saudi Arabia, they attacked the world's energy supply. And here's why they're doing it. They're doing it because they're in trouble, and they know they're in trouble. Since the beginning of January 2018, there have been well over 200 major demonstrations in Iran. And I want the media particularly to focus on this, because a lot of things you don't cover, the American people aren't being informed properly. Inside of Iran are continuous protests. And that has to tell you that these murdering dictators are sitting there saying, this is usually what happens when people like them get overthrown. That's why they attacked the Saudi Arabian oil fields. That's why they attacked the American drone. That's why they took British ships. They're acting irresponsibly, and they're trying to create a cause to unite their people. It's a common tactic of a dictator at the very end. You create foreign problems and attacks to distract from the fact that you are torturing, oppressing, and stealing from your people. So wake up, France. Wake up, Germany, and stop giving them money. Last year, when they started to act irresponsibly, twice they did something very extraordinary. In the beginning of the year, they sent 3 people to Albania. They sent them to Albania to bomb a particular gathering at Ashraf 3. It was a New Year's Eve gathering. It was a New Year's gathering, Islamic New Year. Very, very beautiful gathering. 3 people were arrested, one of them an Iranian diplomat. They had plans for Ashraf. They had the convention program, and they had equipment and plans to bomb that facility, to kill Madam Rajavi, others, and I don't know if they knew I was going to be there, but they were going to kill me also. I'm sure they'd like to do that. Second, a few months later, I was at a gathering in Paris with far many more people, 100,000 people showing up. This time, Newt Gingrich, Attorney General Mukasey, Senator Torricelli, Senator Lieberman, and on and on and on. Maybe 4 former heads of state, including from Australia and Canada, large number of the Irish Parliament, the English Parliament, maybe 150 very, very distinguished, honorable citizens from their countries, including a significant number of members of our military, all of whom support the end of this regime. Well, 4 people were arrested in Belgium, again, with an Iranian diplomat, and they had bomb implements, they had explosive devices, and they are being charged now with attempted terrorism, namely to kill us. Now, the point that I make about that is, look how desperate they are. It's a stupid thing to do, to have your official, an Iranian diplomat, leading a bombing mission. What kind of country has a diplomat that leads a bombing mission, but a country that is thoroughly terrorist, thoroughly deranged, and homicidal, and a government that's in great fear of being extinguished, because that's when you make mistakes. And France gives them money? Please, wake up, change your mind, cut off business with Iran tomorrow, and stand up for decency. If we talk about religious minority, ethnic minorities are singled out for torture and terror. Religious minorities are singled out. The time has come for the complete abolishment of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. President Trump named the RGC and the Quds Force terrorist groups a short while ago, something President Obama should have done years ago. But thank God we have a president now who stands up to Iran and doesn't give them billions of dollars, which I feel embarrassed about. I feel embarrassed that my country has helped support them. That's why it's hard for me to condemn France for doing it, except for the fact that we've stopped. We don't have President Obama any longer giving them billions of dollars in cash. So, the time has come for equal rights for women, worldwide support of terrorism, and due to the great work of my friends at NCRI, MEK, and all these terrific groups, today, very shortly, the people in Iran will hear what we're saying. They may be in control right now, but the end is near. It's going to happen. It's going to come. The faster it happens, the better. Fewer people die. So I truly believe that sooner, not later, freedom will prevail there. And this gathering today, where all these groups have come together, that might have some differences otherwise, but they realize that the goal of a united, free, democratic Iran is necessary to save your people, and I don't think I'm exaggerating if I say it's necessary to save the world. So thank you, and I am with you. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, it is indeed a pleasure to join you in this convention, which I hope would result in fruitful steps toward overthrowing the religious dictatorship ruling our country, Iran. Though they might be taken for granted, it's worth reminding that the Iranian people and resistance have paid a very heavy price to uphold these values. 113 years ago, the vanguards of the Iranian people rose up to fight against monarchic dictatorship. Despite ebbs and flows, this resistance has continued until today. The constitutional revolution was crushed by the despots due to collaboration of the reactionary clerics and foreign powers. The nationalist government of Dr. Mohammad Mossadegh was also overthrown by the corrupt and repressive royal court and the collusion of the reactionary clerics and foreign powers. And the leadership of the 1979 anti-monarchic revolution was stolen by Khomeini and the mullahs. Religious dictatorship replaced monarchic dictatorship. In a nutshell, the Iranian nation has paid a tremendous price for insisting on three issues. One, the overthrow of the mullahs' regime and all its factions. Two, establishing a democratic republic. And finally, number three, the separation of religion and state. These pillars form the basis of unity among different groups and personalities in this convention. They include those who lost their lives during the constitutional revolution, such freedom lovers as Suri Israfil, to Malik Mutakallimin, who were martyred by Muhammad Ali Shah henchmen, to those who were murdered by Reza Khan, to the martyrs of July 21st, 1952, to the Mujahideen and Fadain who were executed or tortured to death by the Shah regime. Yes, 120,000 martyrs for freedom are backing up these principles, joined by thousands of Iranians in exile in the United States and in Europe who are working round the clock as the basis of support for the resistant units inside Iran as they carry forward the major campaign to overthrow the regime. Indeed, these words are written with blood, and they must be replenished and elevated by enduring more suffering and making a greater sacrifice. At this point, please allow me to briefly touch upon the activities of the Washington office of NCRI and Iranians living in the United States who have played an irreplaceable role in contributing to the adoption of foreign policy vis-a-vis the ruling regime in Iran. Iranians have played an active role in the political life of this country and impacting the U.S. policy against the regime. Were it not for a role played by these Iranians all these years, the policy of appeasement would have no doubt inflicted greater damage on the Iranian people and the resistance. Similarly, in the new year, these very Iranians have played an active role in the formation of a firm policy against the regime. The NCRI Washington office is proud to have organized and directed these major campaigns. It was the NCRI US which first called for designation of IRGC as a foreign terrorist organization. And backed it up with facts and documents. We called for the sanctioning the office of the Supreme Leader and presented evidence of Khamenei's involvement in all major terror operations. We called for the designation of Javad Zarif, the regime's foreign minister, and published a book named Iran's Emissaries of Terror, which showed a trend about the Iranian regime foreign ministry in conducting terrorism abroad and how these embassies around Europe have been involved in all major terror operations and plots abroad, including the murder of 2 successive leaders of Kurdish Democratic Party of Iran, as well as the assassination of our NCRI representatives in Rome, Geneva, Istanbul, and other countries. In addition to dozens of rallies, demonstrations, and sittings, our compatriots succeeded in confronting the regime's demonization campaign and defend democracy and popular sovereignty. One of the greatest achievements of the Iranians and supporters of the NCRI U.S. Representative Office is to secure the bipartisan support of vast majority of lawmakers and distinguished political leaders in U.S., which has been polarized as never before. As many U.S. political leaders have emphasized, the issue of Iran and the Iranian resistance is one of the very few issues about which both Democrats and Republicans share the same view. The NCRI U.S. office has also played a major role in exposing the regime's crimes and terrorism inside and outside of Iran. It was our office which first exposed the nuclear sites in Natanz and Iraq in 2002. Which triggered the inspection of the Iranian nuclear sites by the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA. We also had nearly 100 nuclear and missile revelations about the Iranian regime. These revelations played an important role in getting 6 UN Security Council resolutions against the Iranian regime. We have published nearly 24 books just in the past 5 years in the US about the rogue behavior of the Iranian regime abroad and its repression inside the country, Iran. We have had dozens of conferences, seminars, political panels, and discussions, as well as cultural events to show the world the sharp distinction between the Iranian regime and the people of Iran. We have shown the world that there is a viable alternative to the repressive rulers of Iran. All the world needs to do is to recognize the right of the Iranian people to unseat the repressive rulers and stop providing aid to the Iranian regime. In closing, I want to emphasize that we all have very serious responsibilities to fulfill the desire of the Iranian people, and that we are more hopeful than ever that the days of the mullahs are numbered. I'm glad to say that the Iranian resistance has never been this strong and capable to make change in Iran. Let's continue our path hand in hand to achieve a goal of a free Iran. Thank you very much.
of freedom. While they think they can conceal their tyranny, you stand for economic opportunity for every person in Iran, while they think they can distract the people from the corruption and mismanagement of their regime. You stand for an Iran that will be peace-loving and non-nuclear, while they support terrorist killers and expand their violent aggression throughout the region, from Syria and Lebanon to Iraq and Yemen. Why I'm so proud to stand with you outside, and why I am so optimistic today that one day before long, you and I will be inside cheering for the leader of a free Iran. Today, the radical regime in Tehran is on the run. They're back into the corner. President Trump, Secretary Pompeo, have withdrawn from the Iran nuclear agreement. Conducted a campaign of maximum economic pressure on the regime, and it has hurt the regime. The people of Iran have an enemy inside. It's the corruption and greed of the current mullahs who run that great country. They've shot down an American drone just in the last few weeks, and they attacked the oil facilities of Saudi Arabia. Any one of those would in other times have been considered an act of war. The radicals at the top of the Iranian government must think they can scare us into another bad deal, but I don't think so. Not with President Trump, not with Secretary Pompeo, and not with you and your brothers and sisters in Iran who want to be freed from these fanatics that now govern them without the people's consent. And listen to what happened yesterday, a big turning point. The governments of Britain, Germany, and France released a joint statement saying they agree with us that Iran was responsible for the attacks on Saudi Arabia. How about that?
Change, change, change! Regime change in Iran! Change, change, change! Regime change in Iran! Change, change, change! Regime change in Iran!
So now that we are working again, not only with our allies in the Middle East, but our friends and allies in Europe, I want to say to you today, particularly because of what brings you here, that there is a force that the government of Iran, the radical regime in Tehran, fears more than outside military attack. And you know what that force is? It is the people of Iran, the National Council of Resistance of Iran, MEK of Iran.
By the people of Iran! Regime change in Iran! By the people of Iran! Regime change in Iran! By the people of Iran!
That is what we used to call in America the power of the people. A military strike against Iran will hurt the IRGC and the Quds Force, but it will not bring down the regime. The people of Iran rising up with our support can bring down this regime, and in my opinion, it's long past time to change the Iran regime so that there is a free Iran, a peace-loving Iran.
Down with terrorist regime of Iran! Down with terrorist regime of Iran! Down with terrorist regime of Iran!
Let's be honest. The U.S., the world, we've tried everything else with this group of fanatics who have seized this great country and civilization. Nothing has worked. It still suppresses its own people. It still steals their wealth. It still sponsors terrorism. It still expands by aggression their movement into other countries in the region. It still builds missiles to deliver the nuclear weapons we know they will make on their neighbors, on Europe, and yes, eventually on the United States. The only policy we haven't changed, because everything else has failed to change the behavior of the regime in Iran, is to change the regime in Iran. It's time to give freedom a chance in Iran. Think of how the world will change if there is a new government in Tehran that is peace-loving, that is committed to the freedom and uplifting of its own people, that is non-nuclear. A new regime in Tehran will, in fact, mean the end of most of the conflict in the Middle East. It'll mean a better life for the people of Iran. The NCRI, the MEK, will be at the very beating heart of a new, free, peace-loving Iran. You have a plan, you have a 10-point plan that speaks to free elections, freedom of politics, gender equality, no nuclear weapons, working with other countries in the region and the world, and no movement, no matter how strong it is, can succeed without a leader. And you have a leader, Mrs. Mariam Rajavi. Principled leader, a capable leader, surrounded by other principled and capable leaders. And you have the broadest support of any dissident opposition group to the government of Iran among Iranians in America and throughout the world. So you have reason to be confident. My dear friends, I want to close with a recollection. Just a couple of months ago, along with my wife, we visited Ashraf III in Albania. It was a wonderful visit. In Ashraf III, I saw, and anyone who goes there will see, what can be the future of Iran. On a hillside in Albania, the people have built a spectacular new community, modern, clean, working hard. It is what the whole country of Iran can be if the people of Iran and the people of the world supporting them get rid of these greedy, corrupt, extreme leaders that are there now. Now, a final word. I miss every day my dear friend and your dear friend, Senator John McCain. I am sure John, if he were alive, would be here in the months before his illness got him so he couldn't travel anymore. He visited Ashraf 3. And I want to read to you the words he spoke because I speak them to you today. You have stood up and fought and sacrificed for freedom, for the right to determine your future, for the rights that are given by God, not the state. I thank you for being an example to the whole world that those who are willing to fight and sacrifice for freedom always will achieve it. That's the end of the quote from John, and he's right. Your cause is as old as human history, the cause of freedom, the battle that has gone on forever, freedom against tyranny. And so, I say to you, in conclusion, are we ready to fight for freedom in Iran? Are we ready to lead the fight? Are we ready to govern? Yes. The answer is, are you ready now? The answer is, Hazer, Hazer, Hazer. We are ready. Hazer. Thank you. God bless you.
Today, when the leaders of the world gather in the United Nations, there will be respected men and women from the great democracies of Europe, the rising powers of Asia, the free colonial nations of Africa. But among them will be one man who does not deserve to be sitting in the chamber of a building in an organization dedicated to human peace, human freedom, and dignity. Leaders of the world, look to your left, look to your right. Rouhani does not deserve a seat in the United Nations. When you see Rouhani, see a man who has enslaved his people, murdered 3,800 of his own citizens, imprisoned more Iranians, more of his own people than any nation on earth, who's raising a generation in poverty, who is denied the most basic of human freedoms. Leaders of the world, Rouhani does not belong in the United Nations. In the chamber today, knowing that we have been here so many times, in so many years, he must be asking, when will they stop? When will they stop chanting? When will they stop marching? When will they stop coming to the United Nations? Rouhani, hear my voice now. Never, never, never. We will never stop. Rouhani, when will we stop demanding that the jails of Iran be emptied of our children, of people who have done nothing more than to speak free? Our answer is simple. Never, never, never. Rouhani, when will we stop demanding that the children, another generation of Iranians, stop sharing and not share in the prosperity of the world, and stop living in abject poverty with no hope, no future, and no economic security? Our answer to you is simple: never, never, never. Don't understand what we ask, because our demands could not be more simple. They could not be more modest. We want for the Iranian people what other nations have all provided for their people: a chance to speak free, practice their faith, provide for their children, live a decent life, live without tyranny. This is all we ask. If you do not understand us, then look to yourselves. We want for Iran what all the peoples of Europe and Africa and Asia and North America have already provided for their people. Peoples of the world, join us. Iranians are not different. We are not less. God does not want less for us. Our people have no less ambitions for their faith, their futures, or their children. People of the world, join with us. Join with the MEK. Free Iran! Free Iran now!
Regime change in Iran by the people of Iran! Regime change in Iran by the people of Iran! Regime change in Iran by the people of Iran!
And yet, all of you and the millions of people in the Iranian diaspora who wait for a new future for Iran are entitled to ask, what is different this year? What is different from last year, from 5 years ago, from 10 years ago? Are we any closer to the end of the dictatorship? Because it is not the same. Today we understand that there is one organization with one leader, with the means, the discipline, the focus, the strength, the determination to free Iran. That is the MEK, and that is Maryam Rajavi, that will lead this revolution. It is not the same. It is not the same. Years ago, we spoke to the people of Iran, but the streets of Tehran, towns, villages, and cities across Iran were oppressed by the Revolutionary Guards, and they were silent. It is not the same. Today, hundreds of thousands of Iranians have taken to the streets across Iran, demanding a new freedom, putting their lives on the line, speaking free, demanding an end to the dictatorship. They are rising up. They are rising by the thousands. It is not the same. We have taken to the streets. Today, hundreds of cells across Iran, led by the MEK, are organizing protests, spreading messages, posting bulletins, writing slogans, providing leadership. The MEK is back on the forefront, leading the revolution. It is not the same. It is not the same. Several years ago, America, with our instincts of accommodation and reconciliation, made a vain attempt to reconcile with Tehran, to give them a last chance, to see if there could be resolution. We were shown nothing but violence, terrorism, a continued nuclear program, and a brutal dictatorship. It is not the same. The American embargo on Iran is strangling the regime. It is strangling the Revolutionary Guard. It is shutting down the nuclear program. It is bringing an end to the tyranny. To those leaders gathered here, I know the embargo may be American-led, but across the world, from Europe to India to China to Japan, those nations that were funding the regime by buying their oil, they have stopped. They have stopped buying millions of barrels of oil. They are bankrupting the regime. And what they are bankrupting is the system of terror that is murdering people, suppressing basic human freedoms, denying self-government, executing citizens in public squares. The money of Japan and China was going to oppress a free people. To those nations around the world who have followed American leadership by stop funding the regime, we say to you, it is not the same. We are united as a global community. We will end the regime. We will end the regime. It is not the same. It is not the same.
Regime change in Iran by the people of Iran. Regime change in Iran by the people of Iran. Regime change in Iran by the people of Iran. Regime change in Iran by the people of Iran. Regime change.
I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you the hour and the day when mothers and fathers across Iran can look their children in the eye and say, you are not different. Like other children around the world, you will have a future. You will breathe free. You will have your own government. You will be able to provide for your children. You'll be able to build a home and to build a future. I wish I could tell you the day. I wish I knew the hour. I don't. I only know one thing. I know how this ends. The mullahs will be destroyed and Iran will be free.
Rajami, yes! Mullahs, no! They are terrorists, they must go!
And while I wish...
Yes! Mullahs, no!
And while I wish I knew that day, I do know this. That seat in the United Nations, where decent men and women have to sit with a man with blood on his hands, who contradicts by his very presence everything this organization stands for. That seat will be occupied by an Iranian who respects his people, respects democracy, wants to live at peace, wants the Iranian people to rejoin the international community. As God is my witness, Rouhani will not sit in that seat long. It will belong to a free Iranian.
Rouhani! No! Rajami! Yes! 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 Rouhani! No! 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 Rajami! Yes! 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 Rouhani! No! 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 Rajami! Yes! Yes! Yes!
Madam Rajavi, for having given your life to the freedom of your people, we thank you. For all of you living here now in America who could be doing other things, forgetting your people and the land of your fathers, we thank you. By your presence, you say much about yourselves, your family, and your ancestors. It is one of the great causes of my life to be here with you. And I tell you this, while I don't know when, I don't know the day, I'm not sure of the means, I know this, you and I and Madam Rajavi has a destiny to rendezvous in Tehran in a free Iran. God bless you all, and thank you all very, very much.
delegations from 40 different states from across America. And thank you for always representing the voice of the Iranian people who, for more than 4 decades, have called for a free Iran. Let us greet Iran. Salam bar Iran zamin. Salam bar kanunhay shurashi. و سلام بر شهر شرف و امید ایران زمین اشرف-سه. We are so proud. We are so proud to be here today and honored to have the opportunity to be the voice of the Iranian people in this country. The Iranian people, through their uprising, protests and strikes, have been seeking regime change. This regime must be overthrown in its entirety. We all know that it is not capable of change. It is not willing to change, no matter how much Europeans and others have tried to appease it over the years. Let us take a lesson from history by those who appeased Hitler. Keep in mind this message that is coming from Iran, from the protesters and labor strikes that say, "Down with Rohani, down with Khamenei, down with Rohani, down with Khamenei." Iran has an organized opposition. It is the Mujahideen Khalq, the MEK. They are the main opposition group inside Iran who have activated the resistance units inside Iran. They are the engine of change in Iran. The Iranian people have a political alternative to this regime. It is the National Council of Resistance of Iran that has a clear leadership, platform, proven record, and significant network capabilities and support worldwide. We salute the people of Iran, the MEK resistance units, and those who are sacrificing their life for a free Iran. The Iranian people will free themselves, and they will do it soon. It is time for the international community to recognize this fact and stand on the side of the Iranian people. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is an honor to stand before fellow comrades who have continued their quest for 50 years. We have many things to learn from you and to cooperate with you on. It is an honor to bring with me the voice of Idlib, as they have already beat you and sent you a video of a solidarity protest about 2 hours ago. Support of your demands to topple the mullah regime. We stand with your demands as they are. No executions, no terrorism, no nuclear weapons, and yes, and yes, and yes to a change of the mullah regime. Revolutionary Guard has caused your people and our people great many losses. In the year of 2015, there was a battle where 2,000 of Qasem Soleimani's best fighters lost their lives. It was because of him that he is bringing atrocities to both our nations. Yet he mistakenly believes that he will stay in Syria. And I am here to tell you, on behalf of everybody in Syria, I have just come from Idlib city less than a month ago. I am here to tell you that our number one objective is to disinfect our lands from all Qasem Soleimani and his thugs and his people. It is very painful to see and understand and analyze and feel the results of the Mullah regime since they took over Iran. They have caused nothing but hatred, intolerance, and the most painful of all, division between Shiites and Sunnis. They tampered with the great religion of Islam, and they used it to make us apart from each other. That should not go on anymore. Economically, from a Syrian opposition perspective, the Rouhani regime stole from the Iranian people $30 billion to spend it on Assad and his thugs so they can continue in killing us in Syria. Yet I am here again to tell you, neither Nasser Qasem Soleimani or Rouhani will stay, because there's always the belief of Allah. There's always the belief of Allah. No tyranny shall ever go on, so long as we are together. Brothers, sisters, today we have a great opportunity. Today we have the chance to begin the history that was taken away from us. Today we will win if we unite. Today we will topple tyranny if we are together hand in hand. Today it is our responsibility as people who are enjoying the freedom of the United States of America. It is our responsibility to continue to echo the voice of both our nations. It is the responsibility and the duty and the privilege of every person who has the blessings of living in the United States or abroad, where you can practice freedom without getting killed, where you can talk and stand in front of officials and tell them to get out and tell them that they do not represent you, and you know that you will not get killed. It is our duty to echo the voices of our people in both Syria and Iran.
Free, free Syria! Free, free Iran! Free, free Syria!
Our message to you from Idlib, from the Syrian American community, from yours truly, is we will win if we unite. Please repeat after me. We will win if we unite. If we unite. We will win if we unite.
We will win if we unite. We will win if we unite. We will win if we unite.
They are sending you the same message in the video that you will see.
But this regime, they're very afraid of you. So keep up the wonderful work that's been happening for over 40 years. Once again, I believe this is my 5th year here with you. Once again, I stand here today to let the Iranian people know that we stand with them. That I, like many Christians around the world, will not forget them. Madam Miriam Rajavi and the National Council of Resistance of Iran have fought a good fight and are committed to continue to fight a good fight for Iran. This fight is far from over. The blood of those murdered by this current regime cries out for justice, and we must never forget them. The blood of the 30,000 political prisoners executed in the summer of 1988 cries out for justice, and we must never forget them. Yes. My heart aches. I'll tell you the truth, my heart aches when I think think of the 120,000 plus murdered and the many more maimed and falsely imprisoned by Rouhani and this regime. This is a tyrannical regime which continues to use threats, imprisonment, and public executions as a means to silence the moral majority in Iran. In the last 2 months alone, 34 Christians were arrested. And why? Their crime, simply that they were Christians. Churches continue to be burned down or closed. And how long? How long will we allow this to go on? In July alone, 5 members of the same family were arrested in the southwestern city of Bushehr. During Rouhani's presidency, there have been thousands of executions, including the executions of dozens of dissidents, women, and minors. Under the Rouhani regime, political prisoners continue to be denied fair trials and due process. Under the Rouhani regime, Iran continues to have the highest per capita execution rate in the entire world. Under the Rouhani regime, human rights violation continues to be at an all-time high. Still today, there are no improvements in regards to the rights of women, the press, ethnic and religious minorities. How long will this go on? Rouhani continues to smile for the cameras while simultaneously terrorizing the people of Iran. Just last year, 5 Iranian diplomats were expelled by European countries for engaging in terrorist activities. This regime has been at war with the international community for the past 40 years. And yet, the United Nations still invites him to address the General Council. I have a message for the world leaders at the United Nations. Freedom of religion in Iran will never be possible under this current regime. Freedom of the press in Iran will never be possible under this current regime. Freedom of speech in Iran will never be possible under this current regime. Women's rights in Iran will never be possible under this current regime. And reform in Iran will never be possible under this current regime. How many more? How many more have to die or sit in prison before the United Nations recognizes that Rouhani and this regime cannot be trusted? Everyone knows that Rouhani and his administration harbor terrorists. Everyone knows that Rouhani and his administration provide financial support to terrorist groups across the Middle East and Europe. Everyone seems to know this except the United Nations. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If the U.S. and other nations truly want to build a peaceful alliance with Iran, they must sit at the table with Madam Rajavi and the National Council of Resistance of Iran.
Thank you so much, Kamal. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to reiterate to the UN General Assembly that 1, to achieve peace and security in a world devoid of terrorism, the mullahs ruling Iran must be overthrown in its entirety by the Iranian people. 2, there is a political alternative to the Iranian regime, namely the National Council of Resistance of Iran. 3, to end the Iranian regime's threat, the international community must adopt firm policy as Tehran increases repression at home and aggression in the region. 4, Iran's UN seat must belong to the people of Iran and their democratic alternative, the National Council of Resistance of Iran. Thank you very much.
زوزه‌های رژیم از تظاهرات نعب روحانی و شکست رئیس جمهور ارتجاع در نیویورک، تلویزیون رژیم آخوندی 3 مهر 98.
در حالی که رئیس جمهور در گفتگوها و دیدارهایش با مقامات کشورهای مختلف در حاشیه مجمع عمومی سازمان ملل گفته است فقط پس از اینکه آمریکا همه تحریم‌ها را لغو کرد میتوان در خصوص حواشی آن صحبت کرد. خبرگزاری انگلیسی رویترز در شیطنت رسانه‌ای مدعی شد آقای روحانی با اعمال تغییرات جزئی در برجام در ازای رفع همه تحریم‌ها علیه ایران موافق است، ادعایی که بلافاصله تکذیب شد. آقای ظریف وزیر امور خارجه کشورمان به خبرنگار ABC گفته ایران با هر گونه اعمال تغییرات در برجام مخالف است. آمریکایی‌ها با آنکه از دوستی با ملت ایران سخن گفتند، اما تروریست‌هایی را که دستشان به خون هزاران نفر از هموطنان ما آلوده است به خیابان‌ها آوردند. در خیابان منتهی به سازمان ملل، گروهک‌های تروریستی منافقین با گرد آوردن شماری از اعضای خود ضد جمهوری اسلامی شعار دادند. رودی جولیانی شهردار سابق نیویورک و وکیل ترامپ نیز که در تجمعات آنها حاضر می شود در سخنانی از کشورهای اروپایی خواست با ایران رابطه نداشته باشند تا ایران فرو بپاشد.
با سلام به شما بینندگان گرامی، خبرهای این ساعت را با خبر سخنرانی رئیس جمهور ورشکسته ارتجاع همزمان با تظاهرات نه به آخوند روحانی و نه به فاشیسم مذهبی در مقابل مقر ملل متحد در نیویورک ادامه می‌دهیم.
آخوند روحانی در سخنرانی امسال خود در مجمع عمومی نمایش جدیدی از طرد جهانی رژیم و رکورد جدیدی از وقاحت و دروغگویی بر جای گذاشت. رئیس جمهور ارتجاع که هنگام سخنرانی با شعارهای کوبنده هموطنان مبنی بر اخراج این آخوند شیاد از ملل متحد و محاکمه او به عنوان جنایتکار و قاتل مردم ایران مواجه بود، ابتدا تلاش کرد با دجالگری‌های مضحک و اشک تمساح برای مردم و مقاومت فلسطین که آخوندها بدترین خیانت‌ها را در حقشان کردند، بر موقعیت مطرود و انزوای جهانی فاشیسم جنگ افروز آخوندی سرپوش بگذارد. در حالی که بعد از حمله موشکی و پهپادی رژیم به تأسیسات نفتی عربستان، جهان حکومت آخوندها را مسئول حمله می‌شناسند، رئیس جمهور ارتجاع به نحو مسخره‌ای مدعی شد که آخوندها همواره برای همسایگان ایران خواستار صلح و پیشرفت بودند. وی در توجیه نقض برجام و افزایش غنیسازی نیز مدعی شد که چون آمریکا از برجام خارج شده و اروپا از اجرای تعهداتش ناتوان است، رژیم گام به گام تعهداتش در برجام را کاهش می‌دهد. رئیس جمهور ولایت فقیه تحریم‌ها علیه رژیم را که علت آن برنامه‌های اتمی و موشکی و جنگ افروزی‌های منطقه‌ای و تروریسم صادراتی آخوندهاست، تروریسم آمریکا توصیف کرد. جالبترین نکته اذعان آخوند شیاد به شعار جنبش دادخواهی برای محاکمه قاتلان 67 و سران رژیم به زبان معکوس آخوندی بود که گفت تحریم‌ها را نمی‌تواند فراموش کند و نه ببخشد. سخنگوی مجاهدین در این باره گفت بی تردید زمانی هم میرسد که روحانی و خامنه‌ای و رئیسی و پور محمدی و بقیه جلادان و دشخیمان رژیم اذعان کنند که وای اگر از پس امروز بود فردایی.
به دنبال شکست سفر روحانی به نیویورک، تشدید تحریم‌های آمریکا و تاکید سران آلمان، انگلستان و فرانسه بر اینکه رژیم آخوندی مسئول حمله به تأسیسات نفتی عربستان بوده، خامنه‌ای قطع امید کامل رژیم از اروپا را اعلام کرد. خامنه‌ای که در جلسه‌ای با خبرگان ارتجاع صحبت می‌کرد گفت اروپایی‌ها در ظاهر به عنوان میانجی وارد می‌شوند و حرف‌های طولانی هم می‌زنند، اما همه آنها پوچ است. اروپایی‌ها به رغم وعده‌های خود عملاً به تحریم‌های آمریکا پایبند ماندند و هیچ اقدامی انجام ندادند و از این پس هم بعید است کاری برای جمهوری اسلامی انجام دهند. بنابراین باید به کلی از اروپایی‌ها قطع امید کرد. خامنه‌ای افزود همان افرادی که مذاکره کردند اکنون میگویند اروپایی‌ها به هیچ یک از تعهدات خود عمل نکردند و این موضوع قوی‌ترین دلیل بر این است که در هیچ مسئله‌ای نباید به آنها اعتماد کرد. ولی فقیه ارتجاع در این حال با درماندگی و سرخوردگی اضافه کرد رفت و آمد و بستن قرارداد اشکالی ندارد، اما مطلقاً نباید به آنها امید داشت و اعتماد کرد. اروپایی‌ها به تعهدات 11 گانه خود عمل نکردند.
خامنه‌ای بار دیگر چماقداران حزب اللهی و لباس شخصی خودش را تنها تکیهگاه حکومت آخوندی در مقابل قیام‌های مردمی دانست و از باند رقیب خواست به آنها برچسب افراطی نزند. ولی فقیه ارتجاع گفت نباید با برچسب‌هایی همچون تند و افراطی این نیروهای پر انگیزه را از میدان خارج کرد، چرا که آنها همان کسانی هستند که در قضیه 9 دی 88 و یا در قضایای سال 96 وارد میدان شدند و دشمنان را ناکام گذاشتند. بنده به رؤسای جمهور در چند دوره گفتم که برای پیشرفت کارتان از نیروهای وفادار استفاده کنید، زیرا آنها هستند که در هنگام خطر برای کمک به نظام به صحنه می آیند. خامنه‌ای از این پیشتر در تنگنای بحران‌های درونی و بیرونی رژیم به صراحت از روی آوردن به انقباض کامل رژیم و نقشه خود برای سرکار آوردن دولت جوان حزب اللهی صحبت کرده است.
در کنفرانس مطبوعاتی ترامپ در دفتر نمایندگی آمریکا در مقر ملل متحد، وزرای خارجه و خزانه‌داری از همگرایی بین آمریکا و کشورهای اروپایی در رابطه با حکومت آخوندی سخن گفتند. استیون منوچین وزیر خزانه‌داری گفت ما با متحدانمان در مورد کارزار فشار حداکثری صحبت کردیم و آنها توافق کردند که بدون رضایت ما کاری نکنند. مایک پومپئو وزیر خارجه نیز اظهار داشت متحدان اروپایی ما گفتند برجام دیگر کارایی ندارد و برای ثبات خاورمیانه کاری نخواهد کرد.
دومینیک راب وزیر خارجه انگلستان طی بیانیه‌ای در پارلمان این کشور اعلام کرد انگلستان مطمئن است که رژیم ایران مسئول حمله به تأسیسات نفتی عربستان در روز 14 سپتامبر با 18 پهپاد و 7 موشک است و این یک حمله مسلحانه به عربستان سعودی و نقض اصول اولیه قانون بین المللی و منشور سازمان ملل بوده است. ما تلاش می‌کنیم با وسیع‌ترین حمایت بین المللی مؤثرترین واکنش لازم را مشخص کنیم. به افزود حمله به تأسیسات نفتی عربستان نشان می‌دهد که ما باید فعالیت‌های بی‌ثبات کننده رژیم ایران را وارد یک توافق جدید بکنیم. این توافق باید نقطه پایانی بر نقض‌های این رژیم در زمینه آزادی رفت و آمد کشتی‌ها و اختلال در کشتیرانی در تنگه هرمز باشد. ما در کنار شرکایمان آمریکا، استرالیا، عربستان سعودی و بحرین همچنان به ایجاد امنیت دریایی بین المللی متعهد هستیم تا از آزادی دریانوردی در منطقه اطمینان یابیم.
وزیر خارجه انگلستان همچنین گفت برجام یک توافق کامل نیست، زمان شروطش محدود است و برخی از آنها سال آینده تمام می شود. برجام محدودیت‌هایی دارد و برخی از موارد اختلاف مانند تنش‌ها در منطقه و فعالیت‌های بی‌ثبات کننده رژیم ایران را در بر نمی‌گیرد. به همین خاطر به چارچوب بلند مدتی برای حل اختلاف با این رژیم نیاز است. دومینیک راب اضافه کرد نقض وحشتناک حقوق بشر در ایران یک نگرانی جدی برای ماست. احترام رژیم ایران به احکام اساسی قانون بین المللی اسفناک است و روز به روز بدتر می شود. ما از دستگیری‌های خودسرانه افراد دوملیتی نگرانیم. رفتار این رژیم غیرقانونی و ظالمانه و غیرقابل قبول است.
شینزو آبه نخست وزیر ژاپن حمله به تأسیسات نفتی عربستان را جنایتی بسیار پست خواند. نخست وزیر ژاپن که در مجمع عمومی سازمان ملل سخنرانی می‌کرد گفت حمله به تأسیسات نفت خام عربستان سعودی یک جنایت بسیار پست بود که اقتصاد بین المللی را گروگان گرفت.
برایان هوک مسئول اقدام ایران در وزارت خارجه آمریکا در مصاحبه با فاکس نیوز گفت رژیم ایران به عربستان سعودی حمله کرد و ضروری است تا آنها برای این کار مورد حسابرسی قرار گیرند. به افزود رئیس جمهور آمریکا از تمامی کشورها خواسته است تا رژیم ایران را به شکل دیپلماتیک منزوی کنند و آن را مورد حسابرسی قرار دهند تا با این روش از تجاوزگری در آینده جلوگیری نماییم.
دبیرخانه شورای ملی مقاومت درباره تجمع کارگران شرکت نیشکر هفت‌تپه در اعتراض به اخراج گروهی از کارگران این شرکت اطلاعیه‌ای صادر کرد که در آن آمده است: مقاومت ایران عموم سندیکاها، اتحادیه‌های کارگری و مدافعان حقوق کارگران را به محکوم کردن سیاست‌های ضد کارگری رژیم آخوندی و حمایت از حقوق کارگران فرا می‌خواند. روز چهارشنبه سوم مهر 1398 کارگران نیشکر هفت‌تپه برای سومین روز پیاپی با وجود تدابیر سرکوبگرانه و تهدیدهای مکرر کارگزاران رژیم در اعتراض به اخراج جمعی شماری از کارگران دست به تجمع زدند و با حمل پلاکاردهایی هر گونه تعرض و دست درازی به حقوق کارگران را به شدت محکوم کرده بودند.
دژخیمان خامنه‌ای 11 زندانی را طی 2 روز در شهرهای بروجرد، گوهردشت کرج، ارومیه و سنندج اعدام کردند. 6 زندانی روز چهارشنبه به طور جمعی در زندان گوهردشت کرج اعدام شدند. در یک جنایت دیگر صبح پنجشنبه یک زن زندانی در سنندج به دار آویخته شد. در همین روز 3 زندانی در ارومیه اعدام شدند. در بروجرد نیز صبح چهارشنبه دژخیمان ولایت فقیه یک زندانی را اعدام کردند.
بینندگان عزیز، اخبار این ساعت در اینجا به پایان رسید.
خدا نگهدار همه شما.